Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Janae, and this is
Alex.
I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but we are here to give you a 1 year of marriage review. I know if you guys follow me on Instagram, I posted literally like almost a year ago now. I posted asking for some questions that you guys wanted to know about our wedding, about how marriage is going so far, and my intention was to answer all those questions in like a 6-month update video, but you know, we've been busy traveling, and if you've been following along, thank you for your patience. But I figured at this point, let's just wait till our 1 year mark to give a 1 year review. But I can't believe we made it to 1 year. It seems like just yesterday that we got married. Do you feel that way?
Definitely. Goodbye.
Yeah, I do have some questions that we're going to ask each other, that we're gonna answer some of the questions that you guys sent in a while ago. We are here to answer those today. Okay, so we have 10 questions. Number 1, what are your favorite parts or moments from the wedding?
Yeah, I'd say watching you walk down the aisle is definitely number 1.
Oh.
But I think the idea of having like all of your friends and family, and all of my friends and family, all in the same building to celebrate that special day was really cool to see.
It really was cool to have everyone in the same room.
What about you?
I mean, there's so many, but for those of you who know me, know that I love surprises, literally from the littlest thing to the biggest thing. I feel like we had so many surprises at our wedding. Some of them we planned, some of them my family planned, and it was just filled with so much joy and just surprises that it made the day so much better, because I really feel like that was like my heart on display. It was just all these surprises for our guests, for us, like.
That was fun.
And I really did like the ceremony, which I feel like was my favorite part of the whole day, to be honest, because it was just filled with so much love, and it was super personal and intimate, and all centered around the Lord, which was super important to us. And we had like a little worship moment where one of my best friends got to play a song for us while we all kind of just like worshiped together and soaked it in before really diving into the ceremony. That was really, really sweet and special.
Great.
Also, I love that we had Chick-fil-A at the end.
That was good.
That was another surprise for everyone. Idea. And it was the perfect timing. Those midnight munchies while you're on the dance floor was great. So great.
That was a long number 1.
I know, okay, sorry. Okay, question number 2. Would you change anything about the wedding? If so, what would you change?
I don't think I would change anything, and we've talked about this. I'm not a big fan of taking a bunch of pictures, probably like most guys. So we spent a lot, and to me, I feel like we spent a lot of time taking pictures.
It's just the nature of the day, babe.
Yeah.
Gotta capture every moment. I loved all that, because I just wanted to make sure we captured everything.
But you can be like efficient about it, right? And,
of course.
And go through it quickly and
but
be prepared. So
you don't realize that stuff until you're in the moment.
That's the only thing I would change. It's probably just make that portion a little bit more efficient, but I wouldn't change anything else.
I guess if we would have been more efficient with the photos after the ceremony, we could have had a little bit of time to visit our cocktail hour.
Yeah.
We literally like didn't go to the cocktail hour. That was basically strictly for the guests to entertain them while they were waiting on us.
Yeah.
But I
had no idea what it looked like.
I hope that the people that were there enjoyed it. So advice for people planning a wedding, if you're watching this, at least tell your photographers to take a picture of the cocktail hour, or just make time to go and see it and say hi to everyone, or eat the food and have the cocktails. But yeah, but honestly, we wouldn't change it. Everything happened how it was supposed to, and it was such a perfect day.
It was. Okay,
question 3. This question was for me. Someone messaged me and asked, did I try alcohol on our honeymoon? The short answer is yes, I did. I had my very first sip of alcohol on our honeymoon, and it was the night after our wedding night. I had a sip of champagne at dinner in the hotel.
You didn't really like it. They gave it to us as a gift.
Yeah, the restaurant like obviously heard we were on our honeymoon and they gifted us a bottle of champagne. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be my first drink. I don't know if I'm making a big deal about it, but still, I was like, you know what? Let's do it on our honeymoon.
It was a big deal at the moment, you know.
It was special to share that with him, so.
That's cool.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
All right, Janae, action.
Here we go. First glass and sip of champagne.
How was it?
Interesting. It's like a very, very bitter apple juice and just like a lot of bubbles going down my throat.
Well, cheers.
So, not the worst thing.
Cheers to us.
Cheers. Since then, I've tried a couple other things, but still haven't found anything I'm crazy about. And saves him a lot of money on buying me drinks. So
that's for sure.
That's always nice. Okay, question 4. What was the weather like in Jamaica? So that's where we went on our honeymoon. We stayed a couple nights in Orlando before actually heading off on our technical honeymoon. And what we did was we stayed at an all-inclusive resort in Jamaica for 5 days, I think. So how do you think the weather was?
I mean, it's perfect weather. I think there's only one night where we got like the tail end of a hurricane.
Yeah.
So
Was it actually a hurricane or was it like a tropical storm or something?
It was a tropical storm or a hurricane. So there's one bad night, but it just added to the experience. So.
Right. It was kind of crazy because we were in Jamaica, literally right on the water at this beautiful resort. And all of a sudden it was like just pouring down rain and restaurants were either opening or closing and phone lines were down. And we were just kind of like, what is happening? Everyone's running around in the rain in their fancy dresses and I'm over here in like sweatpants and a sweatshirt. So it was just funny. After that storm, it was beautiful. Question 5, someone asked, what was your favorite food and coffee shop in Jamaica? So like I just said, we stayed at an all-inclusive resort. So we didn't really leave the resort much other than to go on like an excursion. So we didn't get to like eat out around the town or really experience any other coffee shops other than what was in the resort. So the answer to the coffee shop question is the one and only coffee shop they had at the resort, which was like a little French Paris themed cafe that was super cute. But then what about your favorite meal at the resort? Do you remember?
Yeah, I would say there were 2. One was on our way to the resort from the airport. The shuttle dropped us off at that. It was like a small jerk chicken shack on the side of a highway. But obviously the bus driver, who's Jamaican, has told us, you guys have to try this. So yeah, he stopped the bus and that was delicious. So that was probably the best, I guess, staple food that we had in Jamaica. But there was one restaurant, I forgot the name of it, that we had like we had, I think, filet and we had lobster. But it was fantastic. Everything was cooked perfectly.
Yeah, we had like a surf and turf thing.
Yeah, you can order as much as you want. So we ordered like basically one of everything on the menu.
Oh yeah, and those all-inclusive, just note to self, you already paid for it. So literally order everything that you can while you can. And that's
try not to be wasteful, but
when in Rome, right?
Yeah.
When in Jamaica.
True.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So question 6, how would you describe this past year?
How would I describe it? Oh, that's a big question.
Yeah. Should we say like describe it in a sentence or describe it in a word? Or just
I'll say a couple words, I guess.
Okay.
I would say fun. Easy. I mean, surprisingly, a lot of people say marriage is difficult, which it's what you make it, right? There's always going to be hard times, but I feel like for us, at least the first year was very smooth, very easy.
Right, it's really about how you like handle those difficult times or how you really just communicate through it. That you can either make it more difficult or you can really just make the difficult situation better. Obviously, this is just our perspective and our experience. I know there's a lot of couples out there who could say the opposite for their first year or their first couple years. You know, we're just getting started, but this is just kind of like our first year experience.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's been fun and we've like chosen to make it fun. Like things don't just come naturally or easy just because. Like obviously it requires effort, it requires being on the same page, it requires that communication. And so we both kind of had the same goals as far as like, let's make this fun. Let's travel as much as we can. Like, let's just enjoy marriage, because you kind of forget that, like, yes, a relationship is work, but it can also just be fun. And I would say it's been easy as well.
Great, that's insightful.
We're just agreeing on everything. Everything's perfect. No. Question 7. What have you learned about each other and yourself over the past year?
Go ahead, you can start this.
Well, I've learned that I do enjoy being a homebody. I feel like before marriage, in the single life, I tend to be more like outgoing, and I want to always have plans, always be doing something. I love being around people. That's how I get my energy. But I think through being married and realizing the importance of just like quality time and rest from being all over the place, I've really come to actually enjoy those quiet nights at home almost too much, where I'm like going the opposite. Like, I would just prefer a night in with him versus like going out. But yeah, I've learned that it's okay to have both. Like, you can have the balance. And then what I've learned about you through marriage is, I don't know if it's more of like, I learned this, like, oh my gosh, this was new information, because we've known each other since we were 13. If you haven't watched the story about how we met, go watch it. I'll link it down below. But there's not too much that like catches me off guard about him, but there's definitely stuff that I get affirmations or confirmation about. And I would say one of those things that has been more confirming throughout marriage is just how well of a teammate you are. Obviously we're besties. And I knew we would work well together. Obviously you're not gonna marry someone that you don't get along with, but I just think more and more as each day goes by, and the challenges of just living together and combining our lives, because, you know, we didn't live together before marriage, so there was a lot of transition, but through it all, I just constantly am reminded that yes, he is a great teammate.
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome. What about you?
Learned about myself. I've figured out about myself that I still enjoy quality time with my buddies. And Janae, I would say, she likes spending time obviously with her friends and family, but she could spend every single night, again, just me and her playing playing most basic board games, and she'd be so happy. Whereas, you know,
I just want to be with you all the time.
Me personally, that's always enjoy those moments, but I also want to spend time with others. I would say what I've learned about you is, you know, we come from different backgrounds, different families and upbringings, similar in certain ways.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what Janae knew and didn't know. Is that right?
About what?
About certain things, like, you know, whether it's, you know, how to load laundry or cook certain foods.
So maybe you were trying to figure out
I
how
didn't
sheltered is this group?
Yeah, I don't want to say it on camera.
Say what?
You're sheltered.
It's no surprise, I'm sure, the people that know me that are watching this, I'm sure they were all curious too. Like,
we've had multiple experiences from, like, well, I would say, Janae, how did you not know this or that? Like, how air conditioning works.
I mean, I didn't know you couldn't put tinfoil in the microwave, but I did learn the hard way. And I think the important part to keep in mind is that I learned eventually.
You're a quick learner. Some things that I would say are very, like, basic. I had to take a step back and say, all right, give you some grace, because I don't know everything either.
That's important.
So I've learned that you adapt and you figure things out and you own up to your mistakes.
Yeah,
so
of course.
You're very good at that.
Thank you, and you're a good teacher. All right, question 8. What surprised you the most about marriage?
Probably, I mean, we already said it, probably how, for us at least, how easy it has been. Because you hear from all sorts of different couples, the first year is the hardest, first year is easy, you're still in the honeymoon phase. I would say most people I heard say first year is pretty difficult because you're getting to learn about each other and living for the first time together. I think what surprised me is just how well we work together. I don't think we keep anything internally to let it build up. So I think the fact that we are good communicators with one another, it surprised me how easy, again, it has been. That's probably the one thing for me.
Yeah, I would say communication has literally, in our faith, of course, but things other than like those core values, communication has literally been a game changer, I feel like. And it's made things so much easier and simple when you can just literally talk about it. It doesn't have to be an argument, it doesn't have to blow up, it doesn't have to be a fight, it can literally be a conversation. Yeah. But that takes two people agreeing to that expectation of like, okay, when things happen, if I'm feeling something or something you did bother me, let's just approach it like a conversation. Yeah. Communicating can be hard sometimes, but you just gotta get over it and figure out how to communicate something, whether you have to write it down or text it, like as long as you get it out there to the other person so they know what's going on, then I feel like there's always a chance to like get to the other side. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to keep agreeing with you, but we are one. So our minds are one. Come here, princess, you want to make a cameo? We are currently fostering a little pup, you know, just another experience we get to have together.
Not really a puppy. She's 10.
Yeah, but she feels like a puppy because she's like 10 pounds. She's a Shih Tzu. I got her from the Humane Society. We're just fostering her until she finds a good home. Definitely one day we want to get a dog, but just like far in the future. And we have 2 more questions. So question 9 is, what has been the hardest part about marriage? And I know we've talked a lot about it being easy, breezy, and smooth, but, you know, what's been the hardest part?
I'd say for me personally, it's like coming together as one. So I have to be very considerate about what Janae's needs are, and also just be considerate about mine.
Of course.
So I don't want to spend too much time with, you know, my buddies, because then I don't want her to feel like, well, I don't
Shout out to his buddies if you're watching.
Yes. Hello all. I don't know if my buddies even watch these videos. I don't think they're big vlog people.
If you are a real one, comment.
Yes.
Or let me know. Text me. Let me know that you saw this great video.
Probably get texts if they watch it.
I know, gosh, but it's okay. We're not doing this for them or anyone. We're doing it for me, basically. So I can rewatch these videos and reminisce.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's healthy for him to still have his guy time. And the only way we kind of discovered that need is because we talked about it. We expressed expectations. And I'm thankful that he actually has other people to hang out with and spend time with and learn from and grow with. Because that's what life is about. I don't want either of us to be like secluded from the world just because we're married. You know, I know God can use our marriage as a testimony, and how can it be an example or a testimony to others if we're just with each other all the time? Yeah, I'm thankful for his friends, okay? So if you are watching, I'm thankful for you. Oh, I didn't answer. So the hardest part, oh, what's the hardest part? What's the hardest part? I would say at first that was hard for me too, is like allowing him to have that space and that time with his friends and not taking it personal. You know what I mean? But again, we had to talk through that, and now we're on the same page about it. Last question. Are you happy we made it to the end of the video?
Very happy. As much as I love these videos.
I think this is like the only other video you've been in.
Yeah,
with true. Me. But it's okay.
You get one a year.
At this rate. Okay, so our goals for year number 2 of marriage.
I'd say the obvious one is probably growing together. Becoming more one. Yes. Closer to God.
Always.
Yeah, stay close with our families, and you know, Janae's brother and sister-in-law just had a baby, so
shout out to them.
Shout out to them. You know, stay close to all of them and watch them become parents, and at some point we'll become parents. So that's probably the next, I would say, big chapter in our lives. Don't know when that's going to happen, but only time will tell.
I would say that's probably like my biggest goal for year 2 is I would love to have a child at some point. It could be the very last day of year 2. I'll be fine with that. But I feel like we're getting to that point in our marriage where it just feels like the natural next step.
Yeah.
But again, we're on God's timing. We're in no rush for that. But if it happens, we definitely feel like we're prepared.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a good feeling to feel like, okay, if it happened tomorrow, we would be totally fine and we're at peace with that. But of course, you know, if it happens like a year from now, that's also fine too.
Yeah.
That's a big goal, so that's as big as it gets.
Yeah.
We're happy in our jobs. We're happy in our new condo, in our new city. So things have been really, really good. That was all the questions that we had. If you guys have any more questions, of course, you can comment down below. You can follow me on Instagram. If you guys have any other ideas for videos like this, or you want to see more of him, because you know I always do, let me know. And be sure to subscribe and like this video for more content. And
see you later.
Yeah, that's it.
Peace.
Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.
Oh!